to say something in English about this. What it is, it's a story that I saw. And this was about way back when I was a little boy. And I saw what happens when a soldier goes to war and he doesn't come home anymore. So I wrote this at the time when the war started in Iraq. But it was based on that, and then it gives a little bit of the history of what the war is about and what it happens. En español es un corrido donde yo recuerdo cuando estaba chico, vi como cuando uno de mis tíos murió en la guerra, cómo quedaron mis abuelos, ¿no? No comprendía yo qué tanto sufrían hasta después que me pasó lo mismo a mí. Entonces esto lo escribí ahora en la guerra de Irak. Y en la hora de allí dice lo que pasa y lo que piensan y lo que es, lo que ponen. Y se trata la madre de un soldado o una madre espera. The name of this is the mother of a soldier or a mother who is waiting. And anyway, this is how it goes. I'm going to sing it a cappella because I don't know how to sing with accompaniment, okay? Now. Se encuentra una madre sentada en un banco y se pone a rezar. Espera a su hijo que se fue a la guerra y no volverá. Recuerda el momento de la despedida y se pone a llorar. Hijo de mi vida, mi corazonada, no me deja estar. Mi madre querida, no tenga pendiente, pronto volveré. Al pasar el tiempo, un día a la puerta una carta llegó. Era de su hijo y llena de alegría se puso a leer. Mi madre querida, le mando un abrazo y un beso también. Me encuentro muy lejos, me siento muy solo y quiero volver. Aquí no sabemos cuánto tardaremos en poder volver. Defender la patria me pidió el gobierno y yo vine a cumplir. Robar las riquezas que hay en estas tierras venimos a hacer. Robamos al pobre para dárselo al rico, me siento ladrón. La gente nos odia y en cualquier momento yo puedo morir. Lamento el momento en que me dispuse venir a servir. Al día siguiente llegó a la puerta un señor coronel. Venía a avisarle que su hijo querido ya no iba a volver. Le dio una bandera y una medalla de consolación. En ese momento la pobre señora sintió que murió. Le partió el alma saber que su hijo murió sin razón. Recoge su banco y entra a su casa, la noche llegó. Duerme con su pena, sueña con el hijo que no volverá. Al día siguiente repite la escena y vuelve a esperar. Su corazón sabe que su hijo adorado jamás volverá. Pero ella es madre y sigue esperando a verlo llegar. Una madre espera.
Felicidades. You know, these corridos, traditional corridos, were long. You know, stories aren't short. Generally, stories are long. And so they used to be 40, 50 stanzas. When they first started recording corridos on 45s, they would record half of it on one side, and you'd have to, you know, flip it over to hear the ending of the story. But lots of folk music, lots of music of the people is longer than commercial radio permits, ¿verdad? La radio comercial no permite que se toquen canciones muy larguitas, ¿verdad? Entonces, por ejemplo, el son, la bamba, En un tiempo era un canto de 15, 20 minutos para un baile, ¿verdad? La bamba. Cuando Rich Valens grabó la bamba en menos de 3 minutos, ¿verdad? Menos de 3 minutos, porque su interés era de vender discos. Entonces el corrido de Alejandro, en la tradición de un corrido así más largo, ¿verdad? Que cuenta toda la historia.
Corridos are stories, and maybe some of you can tell a story in 3 minutes or 2 minutes, but I can't. I suppose if somebody said, well, what did he say? I could say, well, he said a lot of stuff. But that doesn't tell the story. So, and it doesn't really tell the story to say, hey, there were these two guys and one was a private and one was a major and they picked a fight and shot each other and they're dead now. That's one of the first corridos I ever really listened to, El Mayor y Valentín.
Y el teniente.
Valente Quintero. And I just described what the corrido was about, but one time I was in Magdalena and I asked a couple to sing that for me, and they said, well, yes, we'll sing it, but we're going to charge you double because it's so long. And it is long, and one of these days I hope to get Tony Federico down here to sing his, what he calls the old way of doing Valente Quintero. And Valente gets drunk and picks a fight with the major, but the major keeps giving him outs. And it's like a Greek tragedy. You know what's going to happen, but there are all these doors that he might go through that get slammed shut on him. And that's what makes the story, not, hey, these two guys shot each other. That's a newspaper headline. That's not a story. And in the old days, the corridos, now I'm older than Celestino, so I'm not talking about 45 RPM records, I'm talking about 78 RPM records. And I can't play mine because I broke them all. But there is in fact a lowrider car out there on Church Street. The trunk is open and there is a portable crank-up 78 record player in the trunk. It's one of the classic cars. So in the old days, you buy a record of a corrido and it'd get halfway through and the record would be over and you take the needle off and you turn it over and you play the second half. And it'd be really great because the guys recording would say, all right, boys, it'll be a couple of minutes. Be sure your instruments are in tune. And so they tune them up. Quite often they start playing in a slightly different key or faster or slower, but it doesn't matter because it's the story. It's the story, and is he going to, these two idiots going to go out and shoot each other or not? And you know what the answer is, but you got to find out how to get there.
You know, one of the themes in the corrido tradition have been horses and horse races. And our next corrido is called El Chuyito, and it is about a horse and a horse race. And Felipe Perez, he told me a story on the phone earlier today. And some of you, if you've been around with us a long time, if not, you probably know the corrido El Moro de Cumpas. And the composer was Don Leonardo Yáñez Eldano. Don Leonardo performed on our stage, and sometimes he was a judge. And Felipe was telling me this morning on the phone that in one of those times that Don Leonardo was on our stage, that Felipe accompanied him, and after the performance, Don Leonardo gave Felipe a guitar, and since then he's been composing corridos. And so, así es, ¿verdad? Bienvenido, Felipe Pérez, el corrido.
El Zaino de Agua Prieta volvió a repetirse otra vez la historia. Este es campeón, champion. ¿Ok? Y es un honor para mí recordar a mi amigo Leonardo Yáñez Nano. Yo lo acompañé aquí la primera vez en 90. Y es un orgullo. Bueno, para todos ustedes.
El Chuyito es un beduino tan lindo como el lucero. Lo baña y peina su dueña, de Ernesto Alcover de hermana. Tienen todas las apuestas y 8 carreras ganadas. Tiene una cruz en su frente que no la tiene ninguno. Sombra del omnipotente, el Salmo 91. Chuyito da diezmo siempre, de Jesucristo es orgullo. La reina de esa guarita es Catalina Alcoverde, Ramiro Romuel Mainate, de la cuadra las 2 R's, tienen caballos de sangre para el que vaya y la rete. Dame el jockey, es tu cuate, todo Tucson quiere verlo. Corren como 2 gigantes, casi ni pisan el suelo. Vuelas corriendo en el taste, que se me enchinas de cuero. Le ganó al 501, quito a Burbuja, lo invicta. A Suerte de Oro y a muchos, al Violador y a la Rubia, va a ser campeón en el mundo, no deja ninguna duda. Cuando tronaron las trampas, Chuyito salió ligero, 350 yardas para nada le sirvieron. El ojito se quebraba, Chuyito iba por el viento.
And some of the photos of some of the races actually, and they actually had to put this horse down because in a challenge race he broke his leg and they weren't using him as a stud, so they actually had to put the horse down. Okay, Connie, ¿dónde estás?